Commissioner Homicki, if you could please read the roll.
Good evening, all. Chairman Hammer.
Here.
Vice Chairman Lambruni.
Here.
I'm here. Commissioner Bricklin.
Here.
Mr. Deane.
Here.
Commissioner Drake.
Here.
Commissioner Edwards.
Here.
Commissioner Giaffrido.
Here.
Commissioner Roberts.
Here.
Commissioner Ercolini.
Here.
Commissioner Laurie.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Okay, so we've got all 9 regular members and all 3 alternates are here tonight. So we have enough regular members to add up to 9. Let's see, new business, public hearing on adoption of the 2025 10-year plan of conservation and development in accordance with section 8-23 of the Connecticut General Statutes. And I will ask our town planner, Mr. Elder, to please provide us with some introduction on that.
Sure. So as the commission knows, the plan of conservation and development has been in the process of being developed for a few years now. It was being developed in conjunction with the, at the time, required affordable housing plan. Both of them are on the agenda tonight for adoption. The affordable housing plan does not require a public hearing. They have both been posted on the website. The plan of conservation and development was forwarded to the town council. I was there. I made a presentation on December 1st of 2025. That is one of the statutory requirements, that it be referred to the town council no less than 65 days before the Planning and Zoning Commission adopts the plan of conservation and development. Just for people, I know the commission is aware of this, but there was an advisory committee who did shepherd this plan through the development process. That is one of the mechanisms that is afforded by the general statutes, is that it does not have to be the full commission, that an advisory committee can be created and assembled to work on individual sections of the plan. That was done in this case, and I will say that the plan does conform and is in alignment with both the Capital Region Council of Governments Plan of Conservation and Development, as well as the State Plan of Conservation and Development, which are 2 of the required reviews of the plan. So if the Planning and Zoning Commission chooses to adopt the plan tonight, the process would be then to forward it to the Office of Policy and Management, as well as file it with the town clerk's office and post it on the website as final. We have had it available for public comment since December. It's actually been available for public comment long before December as well. We did receive one comment, and it was a correction to the section that describes Beaver Brook in the open space and natural resource section. We received a public comment that in the description of Beaver Brook, of the Beaver Brook Linear Park, we included that the park features walking trails. We had received a comment that the park currently does not receive walking trails and may in the future. So before you, I did provide a handout. I did make that change, so I've revised that and I've eliminated the reference to existing walking trails. And then the other change was that in Standish Park, there was a request that we add shuffleboard, because shuffleboard is one of the amenities that exist at Standish Park. Those are the only 2 comments we received, and we did receive supportive comments when I presented to the town council meeting in December from several members of the advisory committee who helped bring it to where we are today.
So under the Beaver Brook Linear Park, I don't know, do you still want to use the word park or just?
Well, it still is the linear park.
Okay,
yes.
but so the text will now read. What will that sentence read that has open spaces in it? Is it going to?
It will say Beaver Brook Linear Park is a scenic green space that follows the path of Beaver Brook, providing a peaceful setting for outdoor activities, open spaces, and natural habitats that support wildlife. Period.
So comma after outdoor activities. Okay. All right, and that's that one, and then you added a word shuffleboard on the other one.
Correct.
Okay, and just for anybody who's here on this item tonight, every 10 years, state of Connecticut requires that municipal planning commissions adopt a new plan of development, which is really talking about goals and recommendations for going forward. It's separate from the zoning regulations, but it is a document that has relevance to certain zoning decisions and applications that we hear. With that said, is there anybody here in the public who would like to comment on our draft plan of development tonight? Yes, sir. Please come up and identify yourself for the record.
Good evening. My name's Kevin Sullivan. I live at 79 Wright Road. I'm also a member of Bike Walk Weathersfield. I'd like to first thank the staff and volunteers that worked on the plan. I think it's a very good plan. I was very happy to see, a little surprised, honestly, as a bicycling and walking advocate, to see bicycling and walking mentioned as specific strategies or goals, or I use those terms loosely. I don't remember exactly how often they actually show up in the strategies. But there's a relatively new term I don't think you would find in the last plan, which is traffic calming. I think that's awesome. Traffic calming, along with biking and walking infrastructure, which are really the same, I think is one of the most important things that we can do to better the community and the economic development atmosphere in this town. We all know that the town is very well built out. The strategies encompass a lot of things the town's already been trying to do to responsibly develop economically. But I think biking and walking infrastructure and traffic calming are a new tool that should be emphasized perhaps even a bit more. I was thinking a specific strategy for that in the economic development section would raise the visibility of that. A couple of things that I saw that I thought were also very good was it brought specific attention to the town center concept. Biking and walking are not only for the old Weathersfield part of town, so I was glad to see that concept remains in the plan. And also the coming redesign of Silas Deane Highway. I think the redesign of the Silas Deane could be the most recognizable thing to happen in this town in the next 10 to 15 years and would benefit significantly on the economic front for the town. So I just, again, I think the plan is very good, and I thank everyone for their time in it and the recognition. At least I hope I'm not overstating it. I believe that the plan recognizes biking and walking and traffic calming as necessary things, and I hope we do stick with that and build it out. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the public who would like to? Yes, sir. Please come up and give us your name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Tom Carson from 12 Avalon Place. Just to pick up on what Kevin just said, the term walkable and walkability actually appears in this plan of conservation and development, which is a very positive sign. And I also wanted to focus on the town center zone. It's always had this near and dear place in my heart since I started becoming involved in town activities and paying more attention. I think the first time that I ever came to this meeting was about 8 years ago, where this commission was considering putting considering a medical marijuana dispensary in the town center zone, and it was approved by the commission after a couple of days of meetings and public hearings, and it was a 5-4 vote. It was a very close vote. It was a very good debate. Over the years, I've seen a lot of discussion about the town center and some consternation about it. And, you know, what is this town center in Weathersfield? You're on the Silas Deane Highway. Is this really the center of our town? And I've always looked at it, when I went back and I looked at the 2013 Plan of Conservation Development and the 2006 Fuss and O'Neill report, and when, I think what planners were trying to accomplish was creating more of a place when you're entering the middle of our town, when you're coming up to this building, Town Hall, to the library, Silas Deane Middle School, Christ the King Church, Corpus Christi School. When you're in this area between Church and Wells and Main on the Silas Deane, I think people were thinking we'd like to create, maybe a little bit of a different experience, so you actually know you might be coming into town, rather than just crossing it and not really knowing where you are. So it's always been a focus for me. The Silas Deane Highway has been, something I paid a lot of attention to, and one of the reasons why I started to get involved in town stuff. And I'm excited by the Safe Streets for All grant that, the study that's currently ongoing. There were 2 informational meetings back in December, one in Rocky Hill, one right in this room. A lot of great discussion about the Silas Deane, about making it safer and making just a safer experience for everybody who's on it. Not only if you're in a car, but if you're crossing it on foot, if you're walking by it on foot, maybe you're on a bike, maybe you're on a scooter. And right now, they're in phase 3, I believe, of that study. They're now just huddled up. I think they're actually coming up with a plan. And phase 1 was a data collection phase, and phase 2 was an existing condition study. And right now, there's a future conditions analysis and draft recommendations, which we're supposed to see in the spring. And then in phase 4, that in the winter of 2026, we're going to see the final plan. So at some point, maybe a year from now, we'll have a final plan and a consultant. We're spending a lot of money studying the Silas Deane from Parsonage Road and Rocky Hill all the way up to the Hartford Town Line. And my hope is that you're going to see a plan that's just going to, once it's implemented, and it'll take a lot of time to implement, it will totally change the experience that everybody has while they're using that road. The one thing I wanted to focus on in the draft plan of conservation and development it's on 6.15 under Economic Development, Chapter 6. Strategy number 3, encourage redevelopment of the Silas Deane Highway. So the first action said continue to partner with adjoining municipalities, CROG and DOT to improve safety and connectivity along the Silas Deane Highway through the use of traffic calming measures and streetscape improvements. Support and implement recommendations from the Safe Streets for All grant, which I just discussed. Review and update Weathersfield zoning regulations to ensure they support appropriate development and or redevelopment. Number 4, review and evaluate the effectiveness of the town center zoning district. 5, consider ways to promote additional development desired by residents such as restaurants, retail, entertainment, and destination uses in a more walkable environment. There's that word, walkable. And review parking requirements and consider adjustments as appropriate. And this might be my favorite one. Continue efforts to rename the Silas Deane Highway as the Silas Deane Boulevard, and which I'm completely in support of, and I hope we'll get there one day. And so I guess I'm interested in placemaking, and I'm a fan of this organization called Strong Towns, which has been studying for the last 20 years or so development patterns in the United States going back like 75 years and trying to reverse maybe a lot of the mistakes that we've made in development. And the one mantra I like to discuss often is we need to stop designing our places around cars. We need to design our places around people. And I think if you think of all the places in the world that you like visiting, you think about those places that are walkable places and that were designed for people, not necessarily designed for cars. So the one ask that I have of this commission is that on number 4 of that action item that I just mentioned, where it says review and evaluate the effectiveness of the town center zoning district, I think it's a completely reasonable thing to do, but I just wait. My ask is that you wait until the Silas Deane Highway study is done to see what the consultant comes up with, and before you make any changes to that district. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak on the proposed plan of development? Yes, sir, please come up.
Good evening. Rob O'Connor, 180 Main Street. I'm also a co-conspirator with Kevin and Bike Walk Weathersfield that we started back in 2016. And to echo some of the same thoughts, one of the things that struck me is that the plan actually, first of all, it's a very good, comprehensive plan. And like most plans, begs the question, like, can somebody act on that plan? Can we take some action now that it's been multiple years of some of the same topics? And like Tom mentioned, the Silas Deane Boulevard projects. And one of the things that caught my eye was that it did pull out the fact that walking and biking mean business, that people stay in businesses and go to businesses longer when they get there by foot or bike. And one of the things that I hope to see turn into an action is the trail with rail, that we have this rail running through our town in the back of the Silas, parallel to the Silas Deane Boulevard. You notice I'm calling it the Boulevard. And that is a natural safety feature that if it was built, which basically for people who don't know, an 8 or 10 foot trail along the rail, which, you know, is a low use rail, but would act as a placemaker and take any kind of, it would add bike and walking traffic, obviously, to the trail, but it might also take some off the Silas Deane, and connect in the back of all these businesses that are harder to reach by car sometimes and more dangerous. So that trail with the rail is mentioned in there. And I think that that's the kind of thing that can spur more economic development and become an engine and not just one thing here and one thing there. And then I just want to shout out to the trail from the Putnam Bridge. I think we've seen some of that. And when the next plan gets put in place for phase 2, so we get from the Putnam Bridge all the way up to First Church by a 8 or 10 foot paved bike trail, that we're going to have opportunities for economic development along the trail, figuring out who's coming to that trail, and I think that the plan does some of that too. So I want to thank everybody there for all the work that comes in. The consultants did a great job, I think, of hearing from the town. I mean, they have multiple events, and I think that's all called out if you read the document. And I really like some of the pictures in there. They're updated to see, hey, bikers and walkers going over the Putnam Bridge. The last time that plan was done, it was just a dream. So, but thanks very much.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak on the plan of development? Anyone else? Last call on the plan of development. All right, seeing none. Do commission members have questions for staff or comments you'd like to make?
I was one that joined the subcommittee, the group from here, and I want to compliment Rory and Fitzgerald Holiday and FHI in their efforts and how due diligent everything won. One of the speakers just mentioned the public sessions that they opened up, and they did listen as well as we try to be a public hearing venue. They listened to a great degree. I've been in municipal government for 40 plus years, and I think I've worked on 4 or 5 of these, and this is a very condensed package. It's over 168 pages. Yep. It's 10 chapters, 10 stages of events were launched, from the launch to the online survey, public workshop, the focus groups, Capital Region Council of Governments had a good approval letter that was part of our package, went to the town council, public hearing, 2 or 3 year effort, I think. Seems like it's been a little longer than that, Rich. Weathersfield Vision 2035, I think, was a good statement because it does look down the road. The strategic plan 4.3 is the future land use objectives. I was impressed with some of the details within that on rental and owned housing stock, some of the details, the statistics, the bike trails that were referenced. I think that it was really well done. Even got into exempt properties and talked a little bit about the state-owned properties with the highest and best use being utilized. Was part of our discussion. Accessory dwelling units was noted. Economic development in commission details, demographics, business development, issues on tourism. Over and over again, it's what we heard. If you haven't looked through the document, look at some of the quotes on what they heard from the public. It's nice to have that stated in the documents. We've had the public hearings, and 7.1 even got into a crash activity map. I've never seen that type of detail on a 10-year master plan of conservation development. I thought it was pretty neat. 7.2 is available parking. We've had many hearings on parking, and we're going to have more ahead. Low crime rate. Some of the statistics, how great our police department and fire department is, quality of life. They got into a lot of the deeper layers on open space, and what we heard, what we heard, I think was referenced about a dozen times in the document. So if you haven't looked at it and you haven't read it, I think it's the most condensed document, very thorough, very complete, that has been before us, for some time.
Anybody else? Comments? Yes.
Just a question, Dave. Is the plan now posted? Can people get to it on the webpage?
It is, yeah, it's been,
It's the updated one, right?
correct. And I did make sure that it was posted in multiple locations. So I know people are still navigating through the old website and the new website, so I made sure that it's posted in multiple places. Just in case anyone just Googles it, you should come up with. The current the most recent one, which was the 2013, is also still there, because until this is adopted, that is the most recently adopted plan of conservation and development. So that is still on the website as well. But yes, this is listed as the 2025 draft plan of conservation and development.
So is our action tonight the last action before it gets adopted?
It is, no, this commission adopts it. So this is a function of the Planning and Zoning Commission tonight. If the commission chooses, close the public hearing and then act to adopt the plan of conservation and development, or you could adopt it with revisions or amendments. You should probably recognize that the two that we did receive, but that would be the action.
And just to follow up on Peter's question, once we adopt it in whatever form, all that remains is you just provide a copy to the State Office of Policy and Management, but it is essentially in effect upon our action.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. And it would replace the 2013 that's currently on the town's website, as well as the plan of conservation and development that's in effect.
Okay. Anybody else on this side have comments, questions? On this side, yes.
Yes. First off, I'd like to echo the comments of Brother Commissioner Hameki. It's been a long slog in bringing this about. I remember our first meetings for the planning of the plan started back in 2024. So it's taken us a good 2 years to get to this point. I want to thank the consultants that were employed, the members of the advisory commission, or the advisory committee for this, and especially all the members of the public who came out to provide testimony and input that went into the making of this plan. And I would like to note that the report from the Capital Region Council of Governments in its review of this plan had language that I thought was quite complimentary, and first time I've seen that kind of language in support of such a plan. I would note the following quote that's in the comment section of CROG's letter. Quote, "Staff commends the strides taken within this POCD update. This comprehensive doc does an excellent job at not only outlining actions that align with the regional plan of conservation and development, but also goals outlined in the previous Wethersfield POCD. This plan is, of course, aspirational in nature. It's not a regulatory document, but it does hopefully provide a guide for future planning efforts and decisions to be made by the town council and other town of Wethersfield commissions and public bodies in their administration of their activities, particularly with regards to the commitment of resources for future efforts, changes, and commitments for improvements for the town. So to that extent, I thank everybody that contributed, and I'm myself very happy to support the approval of this 10-year plan, which is now basically now a 12-year plan.
Thank you, Tom. Any other comments, commission members? If there are no further comments, anything more, Dave? Not on your end? No. So if there's nothing further, would somebody like to make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
By Peter, second by
Second.
Chris. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, and now would someone like to make a motion on approving the plan?
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve the proposed plan for adoption as the 10-year plan of conservation and development to be established for the town of Weathersfield as submitted and amended as heard tonight.
I'll second. Want to make sure that we capture the two corrections, right, to be made?
Yes,
As part of
Yeah,
record?
that was included in my remarks,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
right. So it was, and they were reviewed by Mr. Elder, I think, previously, the Beaver Brook word change and the shuffleboard
Right.
addition. So they're relatively minor comments or corrections.
Second. Yep.
All right, there's a second and a motion. Any discussion? Not. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The plan is approved.
Thank you.
Do we have to set an effective date, or does it just take?
Look it up, I guess.
I don't believe that we do need to set an effective date, but it doesn't, we could certainly set an effective date for after an appeal period. I don't see no harm in doing it, but I would normally only set an effective date for a new regulation or a zoning map amendment, but I would defer to someone if anyone knows better, but I don't believe we have to set an effective date, no.
Okay. I don't know better. I was just
Good question.
wondering.
Okay. With that said, then, next order of business is adoption of the 2025 municipal affordable housing plan. This is not a public
Yeah.
hearing item? Is that
Correct, yeah, this has been done for quite a while, but, and again, I will say this, both these documents were well underway when I started, so I do want to just thank the consultants and the advisory committee, but the affordable housing plan was a requirement. I believe that was required in a public act, I think it was 2021. And both of these documents were procured together, so while the affordable housing plan was largely done, they wanted, the recommendation was for it to coincide with the plan of conservation and development. And then most recently, I think it was a special session this summer, that there was new legislation regarding affordable housing plans, which made the effort, well, it's useful, it's meaningful. There's a tremendous amount of important documentation on the market of housing and the housing existing conditions in the town. So by no means is a data collection effort, ever not good. But that legislation did change the requirements for affordable housing plans and how frequently they're required to be updated. But it is complete, it is prepared, and the town did spend considerable amount of money and resources on it. So it's a good document. It's a great reference document. So provides a very good snapshot for the existing and future conditions of housing in the town.
Okay, I am just interested in that's fine. I guess when we're done with this, I wanted to go back to the prior item for a moment.
Yeah, the effective date?
Yes.
Sure.
Could I interrupt?
Yeah.
I just see that in 8-23, which is the statute that governs the adoption of the municipal plan of development, it says upon adoption by the commission, any plan shall become effective at a time established. by the commission provided notice is published in the newspaper prior to the effective date, similar to a zone change. So I think since the hearing was closed, we could reopen our deliberation on the plan and add just an effective date for the record, or just note it for the record.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I move that the effective date for the POCD be March 1st.
And does that
26.
give enough time to get it published? Because we have a weekly newspaper. Should we maybe make it a little farther out than that? It only is published on Thursdays with a lead time of 5 days or whatever.
Get it in Monday or Tuesday of next week. It'll be published on Thursday.
Published on Thursday, the 26th, but again,
Should we give
if there's an appeal period, right?
So I don't think we need to
No,
worry
it's
about
not
an
an
appeal,
appeal.
but I'm just worried about if it doesn't get in the newspaper correctly. I'm going to maybe just suggest, Rich, how about
March
adding?
10th.
Yeah, that gives a little cushion. Okay? So should we just vote on,
Move an effective date of March 10th, 2026.
I second, why don't we just call the rolls, everyone, all in favor of the effective date as proposed, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, any abstentions? Okay. We've got that covered. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. You're the chairman. It's your meeting. You
Now
can- by all means.
Now we're back to
Yeah.
your,
Yeah, so long story short is, the affordable housing plan was a requirement, and the town did complete its obligation, and it's ready for adoption. And there were legislative changes that are going to change the frequency, but it is a document. And once adopted, we will send it to the Secretary of State and we will send it to the Office of Policy and Management, and we will have completed the requirement. And I'm not sure, I don't know how it could work against the community for complying. So my suggestion would be to make a motion to adopt the 2025 Affordable Housing Plan.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
motion by Tony, second by Rich. Any discussion, any questions on this, commission members? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Approved.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next order of business is a pre-application review and discussion regarding 657 Silas Deane Highway. Is the prospective applicant or representative of the applicant here? I'm going to ask you to come up and share with us what you'd like to talk about. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone that this is an informal, it's an opportunity for a potential applicant to have an informal discussion with the commission and obtain feedback, whether, positive or negative, or suggestions. It's not in any way, binding or guaranteeing a particular outcome if an application were to be filed down the line. And again, it's really a dialogue between the potential applicant and the commission. It's not a public hearing item. But with that said, please come up, sir, and state your name and address.
Good evening. Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I thank you very much to give me the opportunity to talk and to explain what we want to do with my sons and myself. We own the 657 Silas Deane.
Could you please state your name and address?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Carmine Gugliari, 657 Silas Deane. I want to say that a few years ago, we bought this building. Okay? Our idea was to bring the school from across the street to this place. We bought this building and COVID came. So everything went down. We spent $300,000 between blueprint, for engineering, for everything. We had asbestos in the building, we have the better that, we did a lot of things, so we became with no money. So somebody came and want to buy the building, and then they said it was, I don't know, they want to go to the town to see what they want to do it. And we find out that they want to open a car wash. We have no idea. We want to sell the building. But in the last meeting, somebody mentioned that we want to put car wash. I want to let you know that we had opportunity to rent this place to national chain that was very bad for the area. We don't want that. We invest many money in Silas, Deane, in Wethersfield. We love Wethersfield. We have several places in Wethersfield, 446, 632, 638, 732, 657, 1969. So we have several places there. We start from scratch. Little by little, we try to work. But my son never let me rent a place to things that was no good for the area, because we truly believe in the place where we live, and we want the best. We don't want to bring here problems, we want to bring here progress. Now, saying that, we spent a lot of money in better the place when the time was a little better, and we have to change some plans. So the first thing we did, we changed the facade of the building, and we, with your authorization, because you gave us the opportunity to open a branch of our school in one of these sectors, this divided in 4, we tried to get good tenants to make honor of our place, make us feel proud, and you also can feel proud for what we're doing. We put all our effort and money in the dream that we have to make the thing look good, because we want to be proud of what we do. We don't settle for little. We want the best. Everything we do is the best. We don't believe in mediocrity. If you see our school is the best in Connecticut, accord with whatever they vote. It's a hairdresser school. They start with 15 students. Now we have two branches. We have one in Plainville. They also is a beautiful building, and the people in Plainville, they love the place and the people that we bring. We bring in the school here people from other countries that come to visit and teach us, teach our school, teach our students. So we try to do the best and try to looking for the best. I think we find the best at this moment here. We have a place that is a family business, one of the best bakery that you can find, and that has a beautiful reputation. I know the family. That family is whatever you see, what you get. When they shake your hand, they give you the heart. I really true believe in them. It's not only for the money, it's for the trust that I have to them. That I think that they will be good asset for our building, and especially for Wethersfield. What we try to do in Wethersfield is not to disturb anybody. We won't use the traffic that we have in Route 99, Silas Deane Highway, to take advantage of this beautiful place that will be the Neil Donuts. So we don't create noise. The place will be open 6 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Tuesday to Friday. Saturday they close at 1 o'clock, and Sunday at noon. Monday they don't open. There's no noise, nothing that it happen at night. There is no more traffic than what we already have in Silas Deane Highway. Our building is special located in the middle of the street. It's one of the biggest parcel in that area, where can afford to have a business like this one. And if you can open this thing, I want to show the parking. And Oh, you
I'm saying,
have, yeah, but I want to show mine, man.
No, I will try to follow along with
So,
what you're.
thank you. Thank you very much for all your help they give us all the time in the town. And we have, in the back of our lot, a little slope, there is a buffer for any noise that you might think that can generate the car in queue that will be waiting to go to order, to do their order. Also, this place will be a place where the people can, in Europe, you see, all these places, they sell donuts, the cafe, they make many people get together. You'd have the neighbor that they know each other and they start to get together, to get knowing one each other. It's like you create a great atmosphere, and I truly believe that this business will be good for the area. The traffic, I don't think will be any problem with the traffic because we don't generate more traffic. It's enough that whatever is there, and then they go by to work, and then they can stop there. We have plenty space in the parcel to have more than 10 car in queue. Actually, in this one, in this particular one, we can have almost 20 car in queue and still have 107 parking available. And this one, this other project, we have 115 parking space, going with all the regulation, the green area that is required and everything. The engineer said with this one, we can have 115 parking space, meaning we don't lose not even one parking space. So I don't know where the difficulty can be, and I am more than happy to answer if you have any question, any hardship that you think that we don't deserve to have this business there. I want to say that we work very hard. And I don't want to tell you my story, but I came here when I was 38 years old, and I didn't know not even one word in English. I have to start from zero. I sent 4 sons, my wife and myself, we have 4 sons. 4 sons in private high school, university, they all graduated from the university. We start from scratch and nobody helped us. Because you know what? We know that the only hands that can help you are the hands that are at the bottom of your arm. So you have to fight for what you want, and nothing was easy. And I keep fighting. Nothing is easy. It's not easy to come here in front of you. People get nervous. I get nervous because, so important people will decide my future. But you know what? I'm selling you my dream, and I'm selling you something that is good for this town, something that I believe. And I don't think you can have so many good business like this one that can give a lot of asset to the area. And with this, I want to say that I believe that this proposal is good for Wethersfield, generate more tax resources for you. Because, at this point, this moment is empty. And with no disturb the neighbor, we are willing to upgrade whatever you want us to upgrade in the place to make suitable for these beautiful people to get another. They want to rent a place, but especially these beautiful people, there was no easy to get. Not easy to get because they are so much reputation. They don't need to come to my place, but they like Wethersfield and they want to be here. And I hope they can stay in my building. But I think I give you this opportunity to you. You take it or you tell me no, and then we don't come back anymore to fight for this. Any question?
Just to remind everybody, I think it was, I don't know, within the last 1 or 2 months where we had a presentation on, certain zoning action that would be necessary to allow a drive-through. So as I'm sure you know, this property is in our town center zoning district. The town center zoning regulations that exist today do not allow drive-throughs, as I think you know. So in order to do what you're seeking to do, there would have to be a change to the regulations to allow that, and then as a second step, there would be a whole other process of special permit application to the commission, which gets into very detailed considerations of, traffic and safety and other issues, impacts to the area. So that's what's necessary to do what the potential applicant is referring to, basically. So you're
Can I answer that?
yes.
I know I had to fight. It's not easy. Nothing was easy in my life.
Yeah.
You give me a window, and I will go through that. And I will just give me the opportunity, and I show you that I will be able to achieve it, because I was fighting since I was just like you, like everybody. Nothing come easy. So I'm ready to accept.
I understand. So
Yeah,
basically,
if you give me the opportunity.
yeah, everything you're saying, what you're presenting, in terms of the concept, certainly sounds like something that you would, do to the best of your ability, and you've done a good job of presenting it. And I think what we, from our standpoint, we need to look at what the movements would be required from a zoning perspective, and provide some feedback in terms of whether we think those are feasible, or not, basically. And I know we did provide some feedback at the prior session on that, but let me just open it up to commission members if you have questions. Peter.
I'll make some comments here. Thank you for that. I feel your passion, and I appreciate that. If you decide to go forward with this after our discussion tonight, and eventually make its way to a special permit, that's the only way we can do this in this.
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta guide me, because I don't know what I got to do.
I'm just trying to advise you. It will have to go through the special permit. Under a special permit, this commission is required to look at many things, but one of the most important things is safety and nuisance. Now, as far as safety, I am in agreement with you that this is basically off the Silas Deane Highway, and there's a lot of traffic, and I don't necessarily think that this is going to create any more traffic. But one of the things that we are almost obligated to consider is, what kind of disruption would this cause to the traffic pattern? And we would normally get that kind of input from a study. So usually the applicant would come forward with a traffic study. Those things are not inexpensive.
I would do that.
Okay, they're not inexpensive. I just want you to understand
Yep.
that that's probably going to be something that we would want to look at, that the patterns are not messed up in some ways, left turns, right turns, there's a light there. All those things are considered by traffic engineers, and then they would advise us that this particular usage in this location would still be safe. So I think we have to be assured of that, and at some point, you have to consider that. The second thing you mentioned about, is this going to cause a nuisance to the neighbors? I went there today, and I actually did the S drive just to see what it was going to be like. And I do agree with you that it's up high, so that's going to mitigate the sound. Again, we're not experts here, so a lot of that comes down to somebody telling us that the sound will not carry. For example, we had, not too long ago, the town come forward to this commission asking us about putting a pickleball court in one of our parks. Okay, and people came out and said, well, how much noise is that going to create? Even though houses were somewhat far from this pickleball court, people were still concerned that potentially it's going to be a big nuisance to us and disrupt our life. So in that case, the town itself hired a sound engineer and did a study and told us, this is what the situation was. And, we were able to deliberate positively in that case because the sound study was definitive. It told us some information. So those are a couple things you really have to consider. Even though, you say this is in the middle of Silas Deane, why worry about that? I think are things that we probably need some substance so that we can make some good decisions.
Everything we did so far, and we always do, we apply for permit first and then we do what we have to do. We never try to cut corner in any way. The buffer that we have, I don't know what happened, what the engineer will say, because sometimes the rules they are so strict that it doesn't give you space to breathe. But we will pass the bridge when we are there. But when the buffer we have is not only the slope, we have trees all around. You went today and you saw houses in the other side, but you come next month and you don't see not even one house, because all the trees we have leaves, and they have everything is enclosed there. Don't disturb the view of nobody. Doesn't disturb for the noise. Beside that, these cars, they will not make noise. We don't have in the parking, we don't have music, we don't have a high speaker, we don't have nothing that can disturb the neighbor. And also, the way is designed, the blueprint is done by engineer, traffic engineer, that there is no car in queue in the sidewalk or in the entrance of the building, and you have space to go around while the car in queue are. We put there like 20 car in queue. I don't think you will have 20 car in queue, even though some places maybe they have in the beginning, and then this is only in the morning with the traffic flow that goes in the street. They go, they get a coffee and they leave. I don't think they will stay too many time over there, and I will know if we have to put signs or whatever to not allow loud radio for the people who are in the traffic, in the queue. We will do it, but yes, if you give me the opportunity, we do every study that you tell us to do that is in the regulation, that we don't want to break the regulation. We won't do accord with that because you protect us, and we don't want to make you look bad. Like, we don't want to disappoint you. Okay, I just ask you. It's just an opportunity to keep in this saga and to maybe arrive to a good port.
Just to be clear, I just want you to understand, there's no regulation that says you have to do a traffic study. There's no regulation that says you have to do a sound study.
No.
What we in this commission have to do is make decisions on those factors. And sometimes it's good to have expert advice rather than opinion that it's okay. That's all I'm saying. And just want you to understand that.
My son Leonardo.
So, Leonardo Cogliari. So one thing I'd like to explain is the cars in the queue, we're proposing more cars than the DOT requires. So we went the maximum possible way to do it, but the DOT requires much less than what we are offering. And our property is 2.3 acres. So it's a very different site than you see in other parts of Silas Deane Highway in this area. So we see that the potential of putting the drive-through, it should be very effective.
One thing which I guess when you bring back is an exiting study, because when I first saw this, it's great, but I get done getting my donuts. Do I go right or do I go left? And how do I leave the lot?
I have a hard time hearing. Can you repeat? I'm sorry.
You have 10 cars going through that line, and every car goes through in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, where are they going when they get done?
Where they go? No, the traffic will be okay. Okay, but the traffic. Okay, we have two entrances. one, hold on, I don't even know if this is the front. Yeah, one here and one here. The engineer will direct, okay, these are 20 car in queue. These 5 are not supposed to be there because we have 5 more than what is required or 7 more than what is required. This can be never. But, you know, we can put a stop sign here, and we got to put another stop sign here, I think, where they leave the space for all these people they are parking here to go out. So they can come this way without disturbing anybody here, and then they have 2 exits. They have one exit in the road, in the side road, then I don't remember the name now, the road, and then another exit here. So they can, as soon they leave the parking, they get the coffee or whatever they buy, they can go this way straight, or they can come here, that we have enough access to leave for this side, to Silas Deane. But, you know, everything can be workable, everything can be done. This is done by engineer, not me. I was fighting 3 hours for this guy to try to do, to accommodate everything I want. But, you know, I will keep fighting. But, you know.
Worried about them turning.
Yeah, but, you know.
Crossing into the other.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you put a stop sign here, as soon this person get free, they can go. Okay?
Again, this is just is a preliminary drawing. So once, if we're in agreement, we're going to get the finalized version of it.
But
yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it's important that we give comments on everything, but the first step is whether we think it's the proper subject to change the town center regulations to open that zone to drive-throughs. And just to remind everybody, the 2 zones that line the Silas Deane Highway and the Berlin Turnpike in Weathersfield already allow that use. So, you know, I think part of our charge would be, do we need to have drive-throughs in the zone? You know, is there a need for more of them? And, you know, as part of that, we also have to look at public positive effect or negative effect, which could include the safety, traffic effects, and so forth. And while we all want economic development, I think another relevant consideration would be, you know, there are several similar donut and coffee establishments within a fairly close distance, including one directly across from this building, Town Hall. And, you know, I know this is a very well-known and popular business, and I think it's also relevant in terms of whether we'd be adversely affecting another business that has invested in Weathersfield and runs a similar operation. But with
I
that
do
said,
have a question.
Anna,
So
yes.
I think it would be a great idea, to be honest with you. I personally think it will benefit the town, and all the other donut shops are so different compared to this donut shop. If you go to Indulgence, it's more of a healthy protein type of a donut shop. If you go to Dunkin' Donuts, it's a chain. If you go to the donut station, it's more of a mom and pop. Neil's is very famous. It's a very different type of a donut shop. I think it'd be a great addition to Weathersfield. I think it would bring more people into the town. It would be known for their donut, you know, town. I think it would be really cool. I just think it would be a great addition for it, and I think we should consider removing the town zoning regulation.
There is many drive-through for pharmacy, drive-through for Dunkin' Donuts, drive-through for fast food. This is a drive-through to a very specialty bakery, very special one. And if it's a drive-through, if you ask to change the zone for drive-through, okay, that is maybe it would be impossible to change the zone. Because if you change the zone, they say any drive-through can come, they would say, we don't want a fast food drive-through over there, it's 24 hours a day, the noise, but this is only 6 hours a day. Man, only you work 6 hours, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
6 hours, 8 hours a day, and then in the morning, it's a drive-through for a special thing that they create no disturb.
We understand what you're saying in terms of what your use would have, but by changing the regulations, we open it up to a McDonald's or a Burger King or any type of operation that has a drive-through asking to do it in this zoning district. Paul?
Just an operational question. First of all, kudos and great job on already doing a great job with the property, so that's outstanding.
Thank you.
It's not clear from here, definitely we're all focused on the drive-through. Will there also be sit-down operations with this, and will the donuts be produced on site or coming from somewhere else?
Neil, here we have the future tenant.
Perfect. I've never met a donut I didn't like, so I'm...
Can you explain that?
All right, so Rob Bukowski. I live in Durham right now. But yeah, I can have indoor seating and outdoor if allowed, and we would be making the donuts on site.
Okay, thank you. It's just, I was looking for balance. Was this going to be a drive-through only operation?
No, it's going to be in and out. I mean, 70% of our business is still inside, but the drive-through adds about 30% from not having a drive-through. So that's why I've opted to only open up additional meals with a drive-through.
And then from just a volume perspective, sounds like you got your stats pretty good. Would you also be doing DoorDash and pickup type Uber Eats? Do you have
We do in our other locations.
And what kind of volume does that generate in those locations?
If I do that,
Just dive.
it's about 10% of our business.
Okay.
Do you have other locations that do not have a drive-through then?
Our original one, we only have 2 locations right now. Our original location in Wallingford does not have a drive-through.
It's just a sit-down?
There's no sit-down either. It's just grab and go.
Oh.
So you're saying you have a drive-through in your Middletown place?
Yes,
And do you have sit-down there too?
yes.
Was kind of can you give me an idea of what is it like half of your customers are drive-through?
Well, it's about 30% of our sales are drive-through. As far as people spend less money in a drive-through, so it's probably around 40% of customers in the drive-through, but 30% of our sales.
And if you're going to be making the donuts there, what time will you be opening to, like what time will employees be coming and
They do work
shop
overnight.
opening?
They come overnight, so they start at 10 p.m. It's usually only 3 guys, and they work until about 8 a.m.
Will you be supplying other places from this donut shop?
That's not our plan now.
Yeah, I know this is only conceptual, but why do you have to drive through so?
Because
Why wouldn't you just come around the back and the side and be done with it instead of the whole parking lot? And the only other thing I want to add, conceptually, I mean, I grew up in this whole town, and other than the last decade or so, this was an A&P, which is way more intrusive than what you're doing. So I'm just kind of, I don't really necessarily have a problem other than I think your drive-through just overwhelms the whole parking lot. It seems.
But because you wouldn't be able, you'd be on the wrong side of the car if you went. So if you went
You come around the back and have your window on the side of the building and just go that way. Again, I know it's conceptual, but just that the layout just seems like a lot.
Because you have to have the window on the side of
driver's side.
Yeah. So that's the only way.
Now
You have long arms.
Yeah.
Not in the air school.
Okay, I
it's on
wasn't
the
thinking very hard. I'll try. I just seems like a lot.
So Dave, I have a question. I understand the different business zones, but what particular, is it line of sight to the residential, or is it sound, or I'm just curious what the business zone actually stops this. Does it call anything? Just
No, it doesn't. The description of the towns, the only thing I can tell you from what I'm familiar with is that it does, the town center zone was established and does occupy its own sort of description within the town. And I think that all the zones along the Berlin Turnpike or the Silas Deane Highway, I think there's only 2 business zones that don't allow drive-throughs, and this is one of them. But it is not based on sound or sight line that I'm aware of.
It seems like it's historically, it's about planning for that part of the Silas Deane.
Right.
Yeah, I looked
To
it up.
not prioritize cars.
It said development, maintenance, enhancement of mixed-use, pedestrian-friendly area, supporting and enhancing overall community character and ambiance. So it was essentially
Pedestrian-
walkability and pedestrian-friendly.
Similar to one of the speakers, I think, talked about during the plan of development discussion, the pedestrian-friendly aspect.
There's also a drive-through right across the street. The TD Bank has a drive-through. It's right across the...
I think it's a different zoning district across
Right
the
across the
street.
street.
Yeah.
So I guess I have a couple questions about sort of that. So in order for us to change the zone, or like the expectations for this zone, where we are kind of opening up that conversation and sort of getting rid of what our just approved plan of conservation and development prioritizes for this specific part of town. And so there's a lot of steps to still go, but would you be willing to work within this concept so that, I mean, first of all, thank you for the improvements to the space. It's beautiful to have these improvements to a building that was, vacant for so long. But at the same time, the plan that we just approved, really doesn't align with a car-specific use for this space. And so we're opening this up for any other parcels within this zone. So I guess, would you be open to, thinking about how the property is still can maintain some kind of alignment with what we have intended for that zone, so that we can kind of try to fit it in.
To spend more money to go there. But listen, we are willing to adjust according with whatever you need. Now, I don't know what this new zoning require, and I want to tell you that we spend a lot of money already in that parking space. We do trench and aisle in the middle, and I don't know how much effort if we can, we will do with all our cars. We want to go with the area, but okay. The answer is yes, but give me a chance to make some money.
Well, right, yeah. Right now we do. It's all hypothetical because we don't know until it's before us. So I think one of the other things that was passed in the plans, the 2 plans that we just passed, but specifically thinking about, there is on page 712 of the plan that we just passed tonight, is actually a crash activity study. And so part of this being intended to be a pedestrian-friendly area, the intersection of Wells Road, which is right there, and the intersection of Church Street right here, and the end of Somerset Street are all hot spots for car crashes. So adding additional traffic to that area would most likely compound that. I can't say without a study. So I guess the thing is just to let you know, as this is a preliminary hearing, we're talking about information and hypotheticals, is that the flow of cars in and out of that area is going to be very challenging, because even now, if you try to pull into that parking lot in that center aisle and entrance, if somebody's trying to come out and you're trying to turn right off the Silas Deane to get in there, it's a little tight for most people, and it's pretty much impossible to take a left out of that area unless you go all the way through the other end. And so for us to align with the intended pedestrian use of the space and accommodate that, it's going to just be a challenge. So I'm just letting you know that blending those 2 things is going to be a challenge.
To work with you and to do whatever it takes. I don't want to promise today to say, yes, I will do everything, and then I don't know. I just want to be sincere with you. I want to be clear with you. I will try, I will do it. We can help each other. I thank you for helping me with the facade. It was very nice, and that was one of the reasons why it was possible to do that. And but we're willing to do the best, because that will give more value to our building also. We want pedestrians here. Some gentleman said today that this town is just directed to traffic and not to people, and I agree with that. In Europe everybody walks. Here, my people from my salon go across the street to McDonald's, and they go with a car. Just they go across the street. It's just in front. In Italy, oh no, I go, it's only a 20-minute walk. And they go to, so I think to do pedestrian, I applaud that thing, but don't take piece of my land to do that. I just want to say, I am willing to help, not only because you will approve this or no, I will do with all my heart. My son will do, especially my son, they want the best here, because they don't want to rent the place to nobody that was no good for the area. Believe me, I swear in that.
Do you sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if I can say one thing. So the town center is from Wells Road to Church Street, right?
It's a little bit past Wells Road, and it goes to,
There's not many properties that are the size of ours in that location. So you can't just take this as a case by case and just look at it, rather than doing the whole area as, drive through, just at least you take it case by case. It's a 2.3 acre of land. And that's something you can just think about that?
Our regulations don't allow that. If we change the zone, we change the zone.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was exactly what I was going to say would be my concern. I mean, we've dealt with traffic, we've dealt with pedestrians on other sites, but when we're talking about a zone change, it's like, all right, you've got an idea for your property, what are we opening the door to? And just looking at this, actually, I was surprised that you have those pink properties in there. I somehow thought they were also town center zone, because then I was thinking like, well, you could put drive-throughs on a pad site inside the Ocean State job lot or something like that, but apparently you can't. So, it doesn't seem like there would be too many properties within the zone that could be conducive to a restaurant with a drive-through. And, if there was, we probably would be running up against other kind of general special permit criteria that might make it undesirable. And I think the last time we dealt with drive-through restaurant noise was the Burger King going out to the condos down the hill below it. And before that, it was the Dunkin' Donuts way up at the top of the Silas Deane for the houses on Buckland Street behind it.
Also had the Starbucks.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, and in terms of, 1 second, the Starbucks potential was one where we had been asked to amend the only other zoning district that doesn't allow drive-throughs, and that actually, I think, was a formal application and vote.
Yeah.
We denied it, and I'll just note that applicant proposed a 100-foot minimum separation distance away from a residential property, which I don't think you have here. But, Tom?
Can I?
Yes.
This is not a neighborhood, street that you have 10 cars a day, they go by. This is a Route 99 is, I know some people that wants to do drive-through in a neighborhood street, but this is not. I am nobody to tell you, why this or why no. I just gave an opinion. Please don't take like an imposition, because I am nobody to direct you what you have to do.
you know your job. The only thing I ask is opportunity. I think we have a good tenant. They can be good for the area. And then I think I leave the thing in your hands now. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, to the applicant, I would say that the proposed tenant and proposed business that it would be cited here, I think the commission would have very little difficulty in approving a special use permit for this kind of operation. The problem and the challenge is the drive-in aspects of the business plan of the proposed tenant. That seems to be where the problem really lies, because to allow the drive-in would require either a spot zoning, which this commission, I can assure you, would not approve, period, or a rezoning of the site, and or a rezoning definition for this entire area, and that is most problematical given what the direction and tendency that the town is trying to move toward, which is away from the tyranny of the internal combustion engine. And that seems to be the major difficulty in this proposed application, is the change of zone that this proposed use would incur by having drive-in. Now, if the tenant can change his business plan and move toward a pickup and sit-down type of operation for his proposed use, I think that would fly much better, because that would not then involve the zone change. And I think it's where the requirement for your plan of operation is currently proposed runs into the greatest difficulties. And I think you'd have great problems in trying to overcome that particular handicap.
Sir, 38-year-old moving to a country that you don't know, language that you don't control. I remember when I left Kennedy with my kids, I didn't know anything, and I saw some dog barking to another person, to another dog, and they communicate, and then I felt like I was envying the dog that was able to communicate with someone else. I looked and I was so scared to come that airport, to come here. I start from zero, sir. I fight all my life. I will fight for that, and if it's not possible, but I will hit my head against the wall. But you know, I am the testadura. I'm Italian. That I don't take no for answer, and I fight for what they have.
I personally admire that kind of spirit, sir, and you're be commended for that. I'm just trying to outline for you the great difficulty that you're going to have in overcoming the legal requirements.
But we can work those obstacles together. I can, if you can, maybe there is possible. Maybe no. I don't know.
Chris.
I just have one more question. I was just curious about. I mean, this would come up later probably, but do you own the parcel next to it? To this property, do you own the other parcel?
No, we half of the parcel. The other one belongs to our parcel is 2.3 acres. Our parcel.
Do you have for like currently with the is there an easement? Is there like any kind of an easement for traffic? Does it have any like? Would you anticipate in any challenges around changes to that easement, because an increase in traffic would also increase in wear and tear on the entrances, or maybe having to change entrances?
In our easement, in our agreement is we have 115 parking in our place, and we can use 9 more in their place, and so we have even more parking that we can use. They can come to our place, not to park in front of the business, they can use other part, and we can use the part, and we have the right of the way, and they have the right of the way. But we have in our, how you call it? Deed, we have, and even in the blueprint, and I think I present to you, they say that we have access to 9 of the parking in the side. And there is a way in the back that between one parking and the other parking, I want to say maybe 50 feet, they can, the car can go through, the truck can go through, then there is no parking there, and there's no parking in my place either. So we have plenty space. It's a privilege to have the space because it's it's very tight to get parking, and especially when you don't have buses that you can rely, they come one every hour. People, they need a car, but maybe something we can change in the future to have more public transportation in this car, no?
Tony?
We're clear this is not site-specific. It would maintain to the whole zone.
Yes, the amendment that we had been discussed before would be for the TC zone as a whole to allow drive-throughs as an accessory use, as a means of...
There are 14,000 square feet in this building? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, 14,400.
How much square footage would be used by this tenant?
4,500, I think.
4,800.
Huh?
4,800.
800?
4,800.
400, yeah. 4,800.
You have 2 other tenants?
We have 1 tenant.
1 tenant, but you'll
And
end
the
up
other one is our school, and then,
you'll have 3 occupants.
we have, at this moment, we have 1 occupant for us, 1 for the tenant, Ravis, and then will be Neil Donuts, and we have another space that we intend to take from, expand the school also there. And it's
6 handicap spots, I think you have in the front, proposed?
We have,
handicap locations for parking? I think I saw on the map 6.
We have, okay, I went to the office in the town, and we did a study for how many parking max I will need if I have everything occupied with restaurant or whatever. It was like 66 parking, and we have 115.
You have plenty of parking?
Yes.
All your tenants, all the foot traffic?
Yes.
All the employees?
Yeah, because
Satisfy
we
everything.
have only 2 employees over there. They are the people. No, we have plenty. All together, according with the study we did in the town, was in Wethersfield, was we need like 66 parking if we have everything fully occupied. Even if we have restaurant there, sit-down restaurant for 60 people or whatever. And we have 115 with another 9 option in the next door, and we can share all the parking they have, and they can share with us. But so I think we have more parking than what we need. Thank God.
Can I ask the tenant how many cars back up in the Middletown site, and how often does it exceed 20 spaces as is proposed,
Including the drive-through?
including the drive-through?
Well,
I guess in line, how many cars can you?
Oh, in the drive-through, there's average, on the busiest peak time,
Yep,
I would say 15
15 at the most.
in the drive-through. And then inside, it could reach another
Sitting in
15,
line.
20.
Good.
When is the busiest peak time?
It's like a Saturday morning, 8 to 10, 8 to 11.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday morning. Friday mornings is a little bit, it's another peak time, but that's more from like 7 to 9
How many parking places do you have out front?
in Middletown.
Yeah, Middletown.
Out front, exactly. I mean, I know I have 77.
Just about.
I have 77 spots total, so about 50 of them are out front. And that drive-through queue was 16.
16.
Yeah.
Good, okay.
And I know your business is very unique and very popular, so would you expect that you'd be drawing people from beyond Wethersfield to this location? Is this getting you closer to Hartford and
Yes.
the surrounding towns?
Exactly, yes. That's what I would
Right.
hope. I mean,
Right, yes, Chris.
But so one more question. I'm looking at the lot and like the layout of the Middletown
Right.
property, and it seems like it's a fairly pedestrian area. I mean, it's a busy looking intersection. I'm not familiar with it
Wesleyan is right
specifically.
behind, so that we do get a lot of walking traffic.
And I guess when you were getting ready for that site, like how much were there any challenges with the existing zone? Or, I mean, I'm even seeing that they have like one-way traffic
They do have
in and
one
out.
way, yeah. So the funny thing about that specific site was it was already approved for a coffee shop before I even noticed that it was available. So that was already like set up for, I believe it was set up for a Starbucks, and they backed out for whatever reason, and then I happened to see it and I inquired about it, and so it was already like zoned for a drive-through before I ever even looked at it. So I don't know the specifics about exactly what I could find out.
I'm mostly just saying there's definitely a lot of like visible crosswalk changes and things like that to
Yeah, you're not allowed to,
accommodate foot.
it's like, it's a one-way on the left, like where the drive-through is, it's a one-way.
I can also say one thing. Also, next to him in the same building is a bank with their own drive-through.
It's an ATM drive.
So it's ATM. So he has one line to go to his space, one line to go to the ATM, which is a very tight area. And I've been to check it out because I want to make sure, but we have a lot more room in our property compared to his area is very condensed in Middletown.
And Neil, could I just ask you another question? One of my, well, we all want to further economic development. I think part of our consideration is also whether doing that, your business sounds great, but would it ultimately have a negative impact on other similar businesses in town? And I've got to say, as I was getting ready to come here, I happened to be wasting time searching the intranet and found an article where you were quoted as talking about potentially,
Apparently my father says.
where your father could
Yeah,
potentially moving to, and he basically stated that he had concerns in terms of impacting the donut place across the
We
street.
don't want to come, like, that wasn't our intention.
Right.
Obviously, like, we didn't even really notice it until recently, and it's not our intention to hurt any other business. Like, we're obviously for, small business, because that's what we are. We're just one family. And, but I also think it could help that donut shop as well. If you look at pizza places when they open up, sometimes a good pizza place comes in and it makes you step up your game and it attracts more customers, and then they want to try both places, and I don't know, it could also help them out. But it could not, so.
Any further questions, comments? Dave?
I'll be honest with you, I think what you're doing with, this is conceptual only, and so we're not wasting anybody's time. Other than the drive-in, I see no issue with parking or anything.
I think that.
So it comes down to, if we don't think drive-in is gonna work,
Yeah. On the reg change, you mean?
yeah, then
Right, then that's
it.
Right, and I think.
I don't have a problem with driving myself, but I don't wanna waste his time if, everything else is fine.
Well, I think
There's
that's.
plenty of parking, it's a good
Right, and I think that's
business.
the
So it comes
intent
down
of
to
this
one
whole
thing.
process
Will
is
will
we give
change it for a
give a
drive-through,
read.
or we don't?
Yeah.
If we're not gonna do that,
Right,
then
and
waste this time.
I guess just speaking.
We'll get rid of the drive-in.
Speaking only for myself, I'm really having a difficult time in the sense that one of the stated purposes of the town center zone is pedestrian friendly, and to me, the drive-through is the opposite of that, coupled with the fact that I think at an earlier meeting, Paul had relayed, how many existing drive-throughs there are on the several miles of Silas Deane Highway and other properties that are zoned that could handle it. So, in terms of, is there a public need to open the zone? I struggle with that, and I got to say, from the traffic perspective, we all drive by there at certain peak traffic times, including in the morning. You can be backed up from the Wells Road light past where the curb cuts
I know,
are.
but he's got 2 acres of land there, so.
No, I'm saying people coming out of, or say somebody's coming north on the Silas Deane Highway, they're going to turn left across 2 lanes of southbound traffic without a traffic signal to get into the site.
Well, they go up Wells and around.
And then leaving the site, they're going to.
I'm just saying, but they go up Wells and around.
Well, there's,
Truthfully, again, I'm gonna say, all the parking to me and the traffic could be dealt with. That's a busy spot. It all comes down to, will we allow a drive-in or not?
Yeah, well,
He can even change the configuration?
I'm saying I think there are issues, cutting across two lanes. It's an intense type of vehicle use for an area that I think has got some issues associated with it. So I also have concerns about that aspect of it. No, Rich?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree, but I frankly think in some circumstances, situations like that take care of themselves. I'm not going to go there, or I'm not going to go there at that time, or I'm not going to go there from that direction. You're hell-bent on going, you're going to find a way.
Yeah. So, but again, I think that we can't lose sight of the fact that the zone change that has to happen, or everything is moved, basically. And if the consensus, is positive or negative, if it's a negative consensus on the zone change, then I think we let the applicant know, and he doesn't spend resources doing anything further.
I think we owe it to the applicant to let him know on that point, right?
That's what tonight's for.
Before we even get to the second point.
Yeah. We got it, well, I just want you guys to understand that what we're saying here is that what you're proposing is decent and it'll probably work. The issue is a zone change, period. Okay, this zone has been like this for 30 years, maybe 40 years. And the fact that this zone is like this, that side of the Silas Deane has a church, has municipal buildings, has schools, it has sidewalks, it has more open space than the other side, which doesn't have those controls. When you don't have those controls, you don't know what the future brings. So this is really what it comes down to. This commission's got to decide, do we want to open up this side to the potential of drive-throughs or not? Are we going to throw in?
So I think we should all give some indication to that, and I am very hesitant to do that, I'll say from my perspective, yes.
Can you or Rich explain to me, why can't we just change the zoning on one parcel?
Well, I guess that was actually proposed to us before this gentleman, where somebody wanted to do a car wash, and their concept was to adopt a different zoning district that may be across the street from this site. I'm not entirely sure. But the consensus of the commission at that time was they didn't think a car wash at that site as a prominent feature and in the town center zone was appropriate. So that would be a different way of doing it, is to change it. Then you're changing one individual parcel to the other zoning district, and the other way is to amend the town center regulations.
Or could we do something similar to what we did for the food warehouse that recently came through, where we slightly changed the rules such that that particular niche use was then allowed in that zone?
For adaptive reuse purposes.
Right, but I think that...
Exactly.
But that gets us back to, I think you're still that one I think is a little bit distinguishable. It was a very unique use. I can't remember what all the limitations were, maybe size of building and other things. I mean, here, we're really focused more on an accessory aspect of the use, which is a drive-through.
Could we say that we would allow drive-throughs if it's greater than 2 acres? Can you do something like that? Yeah, I mean, we can put, and if that's the case, this would be the only property in his whole site that could ever do that.
I think that's a good idea, Peter.
I mean,
I think it's a good idea.
Well, Job Lot is technically not in the town center.
Yeah, right. No, that's the big pink one down at the
In the
top.
pink.
Like the church.
In the purple.
Yes, exactly.
What if the church wants?
What's the zone in the purple there, Dave?
It's seasick.
General
Business
business.
park.
A lot easier.
General business, that's where Ocean State is.
Business park.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with 2 acres, myself.
So
I agree.
I'll just say that I would be open to limiting it to some condition where it really just locks it up to this location. So if 2 acres does it, I would be okay with that.
But what happens in the future if 2 parcels get sold to each other and become 2 acres?
Have to be, well, then you'd have 2 acres, it'd be okay.
Well, I mean,
It's 2 acres.
I think we could do that still, but also include potentially some kind of like pedestrian. Can you do it, or I guess can we do it in a way that is not just about the lot, but is specific to the use, the intended use of the zone
I mean, you have,
with pedestrian improvements or
I
something?
think you got to make a
Or is that getting
fundamental
too much?
finding that your change is consistent with the zone and the zoning purpose, which is what I'm struggling with. And you could also impose a setback requirement that it has to be, X 100 feet or 100 feet, which I don't think this site would make. But Paul's point is a good one. If somebody, if two other owners created 2-acre parcels, then you could have 2 other drive-throughs that seek approval theoretically.
Also theoretically with the price of the real estate. I would say theoretically, it's very, very theoretical with the price of the
but you have,
parcels on the
you have a school
side
and
of
a
the street.
church and town hall. I mean, it's just not going to happen, guys. It's just not. I mean, literally, it's all locked up, other than this one area here.
So, I mean, I would urge, if people want to consider this, I would urge having a acreage limitation and stuff like
There
that.
is no other parcel like that in that area. There is empty. Is everything? I don't.
Well, unless we
it's
sell
for the size of the
unless we
area.
sell the church and someone comes in and puts something else.
That's not in that zone. Church isn't in the town center zone.
Is it?
I
It
think we
is.
should propose
No,
that.
it's in the
just look
B
at the
zone.
dark red.
Which is in the B zone.
All right, so
Correct.
devil's
There's no
advocate, how big
donut
is
store in
that?
the town hall.
How big is the former auction house property? That's in the zone, right? No, but I'm just saying that if we change it to be 2 acres, would that like mainly
Is it? Oh, so
it's more of a historical.
My only challenge here to consider is we're working on changing zoning to include this property for drive-through eligibility. The flip side of that, though, is can you get somebody saying you went and did zoning that basically excluded my property? By saying 2 acres minimum, it excludes everyone else. I'm just trying to look at balance here or future.
Well, they're all excluded now and nobody has come forward asking for it.
No, but I'm saying, but once you say yes to one, does it open the door to challenges on others?
Keep in mind, the 2 acres, because it's a big space, you should be able to do different than a guy with a little eighth, quarter acre lot or eighth acre, very small. It's a different spot.
the old auction house gallery is the same zoning district. Dave is just looking.
So let's assume he wanted a drive-through. With all the stuff going on there, I don't think a drive-through would be the noise issue.
Since that project has not gotten any legs to go forward, they might recycle it completely to something else, right?
Yeah, that would be a concern.
So I don't know, why don't we do you want to go around a little bit more emphatically, just in terms of, would people theoretically be, tend to be supportive or not supportive of changing the regulation as the first question? Whoever would like to offer their
I'm supportive.
opinion.
I think we should change the regulation and move forward.
I would support it very narrowly, because it seems like it would work with, traffic improvements and things on this lot, but really nowhere else, within that zone. So if we were to change the zone, I would want it to be very clear why we're changing it, and 2 acres or 2.5 acres or something like that, and other stipulations that would have to be met in the case of a drive-through.
Anybody else going down the line? Dave, I think you've already.
I support it. The only thing that would change my mind is the first time we came in to really do it, and like 1,000 people showed up to yell. I probably would not, but we don't have that.
Rich?
Yeah, I mean, as we sit here tonight, I don't have a problem with it. And I think we might end up creating more hassle than it's worth by putting a size limit on it Because the next property to the south has a whole lot of frontages and so forth, and I think that's more than 2 acres.
One that has what on it?
It's got Vito's and
building
the
is.
paint store and all
right,
kinds of
right,
things
right.
in there.
Right. So you could have,
But it's
okay,
just, looking at it, it's bigger.
bigger than this parcel that we're
Yeah.
talking about?
Well, it's about the same.
And it's contiguous, so if you're
Yeah.
just dropping a new one in there. instead
Oh,
of
this is
Vito's.
completely different, yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Tony?
I think the intensity of the tenants in this one next door is a different argument altogether, and traffic count, parking, this is unique because it has excess parking. I think the donut station is an example of a really small undersized lot. They had a drive-through there and they got away with it and they have it. But if we do the 2 acre minimum, I think that would be feasible for a building that's been sitting idle, dysfunctional, not paying a nominal tax, 2 decades. The acreage was a good suggestion, whoever made it, that side.
My own view, I think the 2 acre, something to seriously consider, but I don't think I could support it just because I think it's contrary to the zone, and I don't think I'm not seeing a public need to change the zone. I think we're being considerate of a particular owner and what they'd like to do, but I don't think it justifies a change to the zone. Peter?
I mean, we've struggled with this zone many times over. Here we are again. I mean, it's been, 30, 40 years? Just hasn't seen it materialize. This is one of the reasons why in the present plan of development, the statement is made, we have to reconsider what we want to do here. And one gentleman suggested maybe you ought to reconsider this after you get the complete plan of the Silas Deane. I think a reconsideration is in order because it's just not happening after 30 years. I think this is a decent proposal, and after driving through it today, I'm less concerned with the disruptions. I mean, it used to be a grocery store. I mean, it had to have more intense traffic than this would have at one point. So I am inclined to go with it as long as there's some restriction. Maybe the 2 acres is the right one or something like that.
Tom?
My own views are parallel to that expressed by the chairperson. It does seem like, the running decision seems to be more motivated by making allowances for this particular applicant as opposed to having a clear and consistent zoning plan and approving applications consistent with our overall plan of development for the town. So while I won't give a final determination tonight, it would have to be based upon the quality of the application that we would ultimately receive. I'm skeptical of approving a zone change at this point in time, and I think the applicant has at least in my mind, a serious burden of proof in terms of laying out all the potential consequences that would occur and showing that those consequences would be positive for the town as opposed to negative.
Chris?
I think I'm not opposed to the zone change, but I think it still needs to be consistent with the plan of conservation and development that we just put in. We're 10 years out, but if nothing has really come of the creation of the zone, are there ways that we can tweak it enough to say, we can accommodate additional uses in this zone as long as there's, the rest of the improvements to the property are consistent with our expectations about things like pedestrian safety. I mean, we're talking about one of the most dangerous intersections in town, and redirecting a bunch of traffic toward it. Now, I don't necessarily know the volume of traffic, that hasn't been done yet, but I don't think we should be opposed to completely opposed to the idea because the zone is just not panned out the way we intended. So any ways that we can encourage improvements would be worth it from my perspective.
While it's a great presentation and great effort by the applicant, I'm not supportive of changing the overall town center plan as is. I think it just opens the door to future challenges if we do things on a property-by-property basis, if something's already been established as part of a strategy. I think the question, it's a good point that, you know, the town center may not be performing as anticipated. I don't know whether that's because we haven't had drive-throughs there or not. But at this point, I would not support a change for the entire town center.
Joe?
I'm in favor of the zoning change, and I also like Peter's idea about a traffic study. I'd like to have that done, see that, so. And I love what you've done to the building. Building looks great.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I guess if anybody, you know, just, if this does go forward, well, I guess I am concerned if the property next to it also is eligible, you know, that it could lead to more. But on the special permit end, I would also have safety and traffic concerns. And I guess one of the other things that we're supposed to consider as part of a special permit application is whether there's an undue concentration of the type of use or a need for the type of use. And I think question whether we already have a concentration of drive-throughs and whether, you know, whether we feel that area of the town center zone is one where we want to encourage that and have that as a visible, you know, queue line in front of the property as you drive down the Silas Deane Highway.
Are we allowed to create a special permit for the zone that's there now?
I think we would.
Like as
we
an
would-
amendment,
we
could we
would
just do that
we would-
instead, and then that solve like?
No, you have to allow the use, but then
not
it would
even
be
allowed
subject to the same special permit
Okay.
process that the other ones are. So, Paul?
So just as a point of clarity too, make sure my understanding is right. My count was 24 permitted drive-throughs from existing from one end to the other. Those permitted drive-throughs, those are with the property, meaning just because the H&R Block tax preparer right now does not use the drive-through window, a new business moving in there does not have to come to us because there already is a drive-through permitted for that particular property.
Yes.
Okay, so we have the potential then to have 24 operating drive-throughs, extreme as that is, in a 3-mile strip.
Right, anybody else? If not, I guess we've given you some feedback. Hopefully it's helpful to you and you can decide, you know, how you want to proceed from here. But, you know, it would be a 2-step application process. The zone change would have to be, the zoning amendment would have to be approved to be able to proceed to step 2. And step 2 requires us to look, you've heard it from other people tonight, but at all the potential impacts of the use, traffic, noise, you know, sound from the loudspeaker where people are ordering in the parking lot, all that stuff.
So I told, I have problem here. So what is the next step?
There's mixed opinion, there's mixed opinion in this group regarding the zone change. That's the conclusion. That's all we can say. There's mixed opinion on if it's appropriate or not.
I am just like, when I came here.
Like flipping a coin.
I think it's for you. You need to decide. As he said, some people said they would favor it, some people said they would not.
It's not the majority who decides, huh?
Well, it requires 5 votes to approve
okay.
the zone change, or any application for that matter.
So,
But there's no application before, so there's no
Correct.
decision.
There's no, this is not a decision, this is just giving you informal feedback. It's up to you to decide whether you want to make a formal application to amend the zoning regulations. And if you do,
well, okay, who's the person who is in charge of the zoning board? This board here? If you already say no today, what I have to present?
some say yes and some say no.
Yeah, but can I at least have the right to know who say yes or who say no?
We went around the whole,
No, I have
Yeah,
no
so,
idea.
Mr. Gugliotti, we'll
Yeah.
have to, we can talk tomorrow, and I can do that. I know sometimes it's not as clear as we would like it to be, but the commission is not allowed to give you a yes or a no answer tonight. It's a
so they do know that.
pre-application. So the feedback that you heard, we can speak, Kurt's here, we can try to digest that together. It sounds like there were some support and some favorable responses, but some people still had some concerns. I will help try to explain some of that, but the commission's not going to be able to say yes or no tonight.
and if you do make an application, that involves a full public hearing where anyone in the public has an opportunity to come and speak. So,
Oh, this is just.
got it.
Okay.
All right.
This is the way to help businesses.
No, I understand.
Thank you for your time. I'm sorry if I talk too much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, subdivision application, filing request, extension, filing request 1730 Berlin Turnpike. Dave?
I heard from the applicant, I followed up with them. I know the property owner is out of the country, and I know that they had retained legal counsel to help with the closing, and I spoke with the legal counsel, and they were not aware of the requirement that the easements be filed, at least not later than the Mylar. So they had reached out and asked for an extension in order to give them time to put together those easements, and they sent in a request for a 90-day extension.
And are they, okay, and we have the ability to grant a 90-day extension at this point in time in terms of the overall clock?
Well, they were, I believe it was November 18th, they were approved, which is 90 days, and assuming the Turk days, if I can, they are very close.
Right. So
Not including an appeal period, so I would defer to others, but
was it published on the 18th of November or acted on?
that was the acted on.
And it probably was published after that.
Correct.
So it seems like they're still within. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve a 90-day extension request as outlined in the February 12th, 2026 letter?
So moved.
Peter, and is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tracy. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, next. Nomination and election of representatives to Capital Region Council of Governments. Do we currently not have?
Well, so I think actually, and Chris, you might know better than I do. My understanding is that, Chris, you have already been acting in the capacity as the representative, but CROG seemed to want to, maybe I'm wrong, feel free, but I thought that you had been attending the Regional Planning Commission.
Yeah, yep, they're quarterly. Yeah, I missed one last year and that was it. I mean,
They reached out just asking for confirmation of representatives, and
yeah.
Did we already?
they had already
Elect you as
Well, there's two things. There's the attending the quarterly one, and I thought is there another CROG representative? Like,
There's a
requirement?
regular and an alternate, I thought.
Correct.
That's,
Right.
Yeah, and I think the issue is that we do the appointments in July, but their terms begin in March.
okay.
And they didn't get the memo or something, they thought it was still May.
So how about if we just reaffirm, could we just do that Chris is the rep and Rich, I understand you're willing to continue as the alternate?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so want to make a motion? I move that Chris be designated as our representative to CROG.
Second.
Second by Tom, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any abstentions or opposed? And I'll move that Rich be designated as the alternate representative to CROG.
Second.
Second by Tom, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed, any abstentions? All right, next, minutes of February 3rd.
Motion to approve?
By Tony,
Second.
second by Peter. Any comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed, any abstentions?
Abstain.
Okay, we have a public comment opportunity only on non-agenda items. If there's anybody in the public who would like to speak, anyone in the public? Seeing none, correspondence regarding the Connecticut Federation of Planning and Zoning Annual Conference. Dave, when is that?
March 27th,
6th.
March 26th at the AquaTurf. I know a few members went last year, but the town can and will gladly pay for anyone who would like to attend.
So if people are interested,
Yeah,
should they
please.
let you know?
Yeah, just send me an email if you'd like to attend. I have not been to this, but some people
I went one year.
enjoy it very much, and
Yeah, it's interesting.
so, yeah, feel free to just send me an email. Just respond to one of the agendas, and we will sign people up.
All right.
Send him an email, or you gonna tell him?
Are there any staff
Oh,
reports?
actually, Kurt, if you don't mind, before you go, I just wanted to introduce Kurt Lang. For many of you, you may not know him, but Kurt is the new Economic Development Director. He was here. We've been very engaged. We hear a lot from Mr. Gugliotti, who is just here. And so I just wanted to introduce Kurt, for those of you who haven't met him. And
Hi.
great to have him here. Thank you.
Any staff reports?
No. No.
And in terms of future meetings, do we have any public hearings booked at this point for the next meeting?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, right? I'm sorry, Cassandra, right? Am I missed? We don't have any applications right now.
Not even a site plan application?
Not even a site plan application. I'm sorry, we may have a pre-application. There might be a pre-application. In fact, yeah, we should,
Not writing.
there might be a pre-application.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Or?
Oh, dog, my
D&D
cat, isn't
Market,
it?
they are
Writing down.
considering purchasing some land to
think I need,
possibly use for
let's see,
parking,
this
surface
works.
parking.
No, this is the applicant.
Where would they purchase that land, like a
There we
house?
go.
They could-
Works.
Yes, yeah, there's a house for sale, and
It's in the meadows.
Well, they can walk, that's the
Yeah,
part of
right.
the town wants you to
Take a
walk.
bike.
Where, Dave? Where they want to buy?
I don't know,
I think,
I'm not sure how much I don't know if, I don't want to impact
Yeah, I
the
think
real
it- I-
estate
You don't need to.
deal.
I think it's best if we just hear from the potential applicant at the meeting and not try to get into it now.
On a nearby parcel.
Okay.
Just
So-
a quick question for Dave, I'm sorry.
With that,
Well, Paul's got a quick.
We had a couple applications that, for entertainment venues, that the town had come in, and there was concerns by the public who had come and spoken to those, that there would be noise and, have they proven to be
City Fish?
Yeah, no,
operating as intended? I was just curious.
I haven't, there's a sign up, there's a sign up, but I haven't seen them operate yet. I haven't seen an event, but I'm not here on the weekend.
Okay,
I don't know if they're operating.
okay.
But the inside, I have noticed, the inside looks very nice. The sign looks nice. I don't remember them getting a sign permit.
Thanks.
It looks, no, I have not heard any, no
No,
complaints.
just curious if they perform as intended.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, I'm not sure if they've opened.
Yeah.
Right. I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? All right.